Hey guys, Sunday-slot-cars here, and today we're going to go over the basics of the control unit and how to use the programming buttons. I've had a lot of people not know how to use like the pit lane or how to use different accessories, so we're just going to go over just the basics today, just to get you racing and have a good time. So from the top, we're going to go from the on-off switch to the escape key, so we're going from right to left. And then on the bottom, we're going to go from our brake key to the code key, so that'll be from left to right. Alright, so starting with the on-off switch. Now, thanks to modern technology, you don't have to whisper naughty things or have a big bank account to turn things on anymore. Simply flick the switch. Perfect. Okay, next we're going to go to the gas programming. And while I'm not going to go into too much detail on this, because that's going to need a separate video for the pit lane, you have off, on, and reel. If you have it on off, you're not going to have any kind of gas going on whatsoever, and this is what you should be going for if you don't have a pit lane, because if you try to turn on the gas, it's not going to work. Same with the reel function. Yeah, as a matter of fact, you'll stop counting laps after a certain point with the cars, so yeah, best to leave that off. If you turn it on to on or reel, well, on is just going to have it going so that the cars will be full speed, but they'll miss counting laps if they don't fill up the gas tank. And reel will actually simulate real racing, where you'll start at a slower speed when the race begins, and as you drive, you'll burn gas, and as the gas gets lower, the car will go faster. So it's kind of simulating real racing. Unlike other systems, the Carrera system is actually built by driving skill from default, so it's not by the number of laps that you have to refill, it's actually how good you're driving. So a little pro tip is, if you come off the track, let go of your controller right away. Like, really work on that skill. I don't mean like drop the controller like ground. I mean just take your finger off the thumbstick. Because, or if you're using a trigger, whatever, just take your hand so it's not pressing down the gas, and you'll stop burning gas. Because if your car comes off the track, the system doesn't know that. So if you're pressing down, and even though your car's on the track, you're burning gas. So big waste of time, big fuel savers to get in the habit of getting a good reflex of, if I come off the track, releasing the throttle. Next is our enter and our start key. So whenever we're going to program with the stuff like the speed, brake, or fuel systems, we need to use the enter key when we're done. So I'll get into that briefly once we get into the speed, but just know that that's how we're going to finalize commands with the control unit for pretty much anything. As for the other part of it, that's the start key. Pressing the start's how you actually start the race. So you can press this thing to get your 5 lights on, and that's the countdown. Press again, it'll start counting down. You have to wait for all the lights to be out to be able to go. If you try to jump the gun, the race is not going to start, and the control unit will actually rat out which player was the one who went too quickly. So don't think that you can cheat the system. Alright, next is our escape key and our pace car key. So I have a video on how to do the pace car. I suggest watching that. It's kind of a complicated thing. The pace car can only be used with a pit lane accessory, and by the way, the pit lanes, everything, a lot of stuff you see in this video is sold separately. And then the escape key, well, let's say I accidentally hit the speed key, or even the race. If I have to pause a race during a race, instead of doing a countdown again, you could just press this escape key to either make like all the lights go out, or like not do a countdown to start a race, or just not have to program anything. Okay, so next we have the speed key. So when we press down the speed key, or any of these brake or fuel keys, you're going to see the lights on the control unit come up. So if it's one light that's flashing, that means it's 10%. And if it's a solid light, that's 20. So it's increments of 10 and 20%. So what do I mean by that? I mean, if we start at just 10%, we'd have the left side light, no other lights lit up, and it would be flashing. That's 10%. If the left light is solid and no other lights are flashing or on, that's 20%. So if we have 5 lights on and 2 are solid and 1's flashing, that's 50%. So 50% power. And likewise, if we have all lights on, all solid, that's 100%. Interestingly, you can actually do more than one car. I believe you can do up to 6 cars at one time with the control unit. So if you want to program all the cars' fuel, or have all the, like speed the same, just put every single car you want on up to 6, the control unit, and press the enter key, and you're good to go there. Don't forget, you have to press enter. So you have all the lights flashing, press enter with all the cars on the track. That's how you finalize it. Brake. So the brake level is actually how hard of a brake the car is going to come when you let go of the throttle. So I keep this at 100%, but I'm going to show different levels on the screen right now of braking. definitely play around with this if you want to. It might be more advantageous in some courses than others to have a harder, softer brake. Kind of the fun of the digital system. So next, this could be confusing for some people. This really only applies to people with the pit lane for the fuel tank levels. So this is how many laps the car has to do before it has to refuel. So yes, it's not counted by laps, but how much driving distance a car will do. So obviously the better driving you do, the less fuel you're going to use. But we'll go into this setting for when we do the how to do the pit lane, program the pit lane and stuff. Okay, lastly is our code button. So our code button is how we're going to program our cars to controllers, how we could set ghost cars, and how we could do the pace car. So one light, so if you press and the code button once, the one light's on, that is to bind the car to a controller. So simply have the car, one car at a time, that you want to bind to a controller, put the car on the rail, press code once, press the trigger on the car you want, so the controller you want the car to be on, and then once it's done flashing its lights, if it doesn't have lights, you might hear a little beep. You hear a little beep from the car. Press your controller down to make sure it's programmed. Move on to the next car. So like I said, one car at a time. 2 lights would mean you're going to do the ghost car. So put on the car you want to program as your ghost car. Press the code button 2 times. Press the trigger on the controller. Any controller can program the ghost car at this point. Press down the speed you want the ghost car to be at. Once you have the right speed, keep your speed down. So whatever speed you have, like the pressure you have on the controller, keep it down. Then press the red trigger again. And you'll see the car start to drive by itself. You can let go. If you want to program another ghost car, take that ghost car off. A good way to do that is to press the start button. And then just take it off the track. Put a new car on. Program it, do whatever you want to. The 3 lights is for pace car functionality. And as I've already said, we have another video of this. This is more of a complicated thing and you need a pit lane for it. So go watch that video instead. So this is going to help you get started. I hope you found this informative. If you have any questions, feel free to send us a message over Facebook or Instagram at Sunday-slot-cars. And if you're looking to support the channel, you can definitely buy product at Sunday-slot-cars.square.site. And we will talk to you later. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.